This week, back in New York City at our PwC office. We're spending a few days here in New York, flying to San Francisco for a morning meeting, and that afternoon I'll be racing to Los Angeles to attend a client dinner before ultimately heading back to St. Louis on Friday afternoon. This week, we're going to talk about mistakes. As individuals, we make mistakes. As leaders, our teams make mistakes. And we're going to talk about how do we own those, how do we deal with them, how do we address them. Should be a fun week, putting a bunch of miles on. Let's get it going. First important thing to do when a mistake happens is acknowledgement. If you're a member of a team, acknowledge that you've screwed up. Let somebody know. If you're a leader and you know something has happened, I've seen people in my business get in trouble when they try to hide mistakes. Hiding a mistake is never the right answer. The most important thing that you need to do when somebody screws up is acknowledge and admit that you've had a mistake.
So after you've acknowledged that a mistake's happened, and recognized it, and accepted it, the second thing is you gotta own it. You need to call your client. You need to call your boss. You need to call whomever. You need to call your leadership. You need to call your management. You need to own the mistake and let people know what's happened. We've got some client meetings.
Going to dinner. Partner meeting, which I was supposed to attend in Chicago, but I realized it was dumb to fly from New York to Chicago for a partner meeting when they're having the same partner meeting in New York. So I'm walking over to the PlayStation Theater. It's in Times Square. This place is a mess. A fantastic presentation by our senior partner, CEO, Tim Ryan. As a leader, it's just really important to communicate, particularly to an organization the size of ours, what his strategic vision is, what his leadership team's strategic vision is, and I'm just really proud to be led by Tim. So finish those meetings. It's a little odd doing a partner meeting in a Broadway PlayStation Theater, but pretty cool nonetheless. Gonna get a cab and head to JFK to fly to San Francisco. It took an hour and a half to get to JFK from Times Square. Alright, made it to JFK. Need to do a conference call, figure out where the heck I'm going, what gate I am, and got a bunch of work to do on the airplane to San Francisco. So it's 10 to 12 Pacific time. For those that like to play time zone math, that would be 10 to 2 Eastern time. 10 to 1, 10. For those that like to play time zone math, that would be 10 to 3, it's 10. I'm a little groggy, slept a little bit on the plane, got some work done. If you have hotel status and you check in at midnight and you're leaving the next day, you sometimes end up with some pretty nice rooms. Don't be fooled by the glamour. What day is it today? Thursday. I'm in San Francisco, and holy cow, a little bit of a late night, but had an early call with the East Coast, but staying on East Coast time. This morning I'm heading to a client meeting at 2 o'clock or so. I've got a flight to Los Angeles, and then I have a client dinner tonight. Let's get back to the theme for this week, which is mistakes happen. The third thing a good leader does after acknowledging and owning a mistake is looking to remediate. This is an important and critical piece, and it's one that doesn't always have an answer. Sometimes when a mistake happens, there's no ability to remediate. The toothpaste is out of the tube. The poop is out of the dog. In some cases, there may be an opportunity to remediate or fix that mistake. Look for as many people and as much help as you can once that mistake has been identified. Talk to your mentors, talk to people on your team, look for any ideas that may be available to be able to remediate. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you can fix that mistake and no harm, no foul. Meeting my colleagues at Pete's Coffee for a coffee before we head to our client meeting. So to the client meeting. You gotta love San Francisco on a cool spring morning. What an awesome city. At Pete's Coffee, waiting for Jeff. The Jeff Miller, ladies and gentlemen. Hi. Alright, finished my client meeting. Now I'm heading to Los Angeles, SFO. Century City. Goodbye, La La Land. Heading back home to the STL. Let's do this. All right, first aboard heading from LA to St. Louis. Little bit of a hectic run over to the West Coast. Made it back from my morning meeting in San Francisco, my dinner meeting in Los Angeles, and then flew back to St. Louis this morning. Very important topic this week, which is mistakes happen. How do we deal with mistakes? You need to go back after mistakes have happened and analyze what could have been done with a forward-looking view. So look backwards, but think what processes and procedures and controls could we put in as part of a team, as part of whatever you're doing to make sure that those mistakes don't happen. Keep your head up. You know, mistakes happen. We all make mistakes in our personal lives, in our professional lives. We are human. And don't let it shake your confidence. Be confident. Know that you're going to be more prepared the next time, that you've put in the controls, you've looked to see what you can do to make sure that that doesn't happen in the future, and be confident. Keep your head up. Next week, I'm going to New York, and then Louisville, Kentucky, and then a scenic drive to Columbus, Ohio, and ultimately ending the week in New York again. Man, I'm spending a lot of time in New York these days. Stay tuned. I just focused in here. You feeling this, people? Mash that like button, please. Subscribe on YouTube. I am approximately getting about 2 or 3 subscribers a week, which is fantastic, but my goal of 10,000 at this point might not happen in my lifetime, which, you know, you got to have realistic expectations and stretch goals.